Inbred Bare Knuckle MMA, November 10th. Roy Nelson, Alan Belcher. What can people expect with that fight?
There's a lot of expectations, and they're all the avenues lead to violence. I'm talking about this is going to be one for the books. When I do the math in my head, and I think the type of fight that Rory Nelson is, that the type of fighter that he is, that he's always been, his character, his attributes, what makes him a standout, and things that maybe don't work so well against him as far as like action goes. I think Belcher like meets all those things. Like Belcher's gonna want to fight him where Roy's good at, and he's gonna move in and out. Like this fight, the more I do the math in my head, I come up with different calculations, because Roy also has crazy power. He's a natural heavyweight. He's one shot from getting anybody, but Belcher's boxing so clean, especially bare knuckle. The way he keeps his hands up, he dodges punches just by inches and comes back with 3-4 punches back. I mean, he's on another level right now with his boxing. But now this is MMA, there's takedowns, there's wrestling, there's all that involved. I don't really give it a grappling advantage to either or. Nelson is a stud grappler, but so is Belcher. He's very good defensively, and on top he has great ground pressure. So there, I don't see too much action on the ground actually happening. I think this will be more on the fist, and these guys just letting it fly, And at some point after that feel out process, it's going to turn into fight of the night, 1,000,000%.
So this is for the heavyweight championship, right? The winner of this fight, I think they're gonna fight JDS. Is that right?
Yeah. But this is for the #1 contendership. This is not for a title, and we have JDS on the other side of the bracket. But there's, we want to in an ideal world, it'll be the winner of this versus JDS. But it's a promotion, so a lot of things are happening, dates, injuries, hand injuries, things like that. So that's what we would like, the company would like, but we understand that there's many other players as well involved in the field. But definitely the winner of Roy Nelson versus Alan Belcher and JDS would be ideal conditions for us.
All right, so November 10th. All right, 12 former UFC fighters on the card. Who else is on the card? Hector Lombard.
Lombard, Jason Knight, Curtis Melender, which all these guys come to scrap. Like when I'm looking for guys that want to transition or start off in bare knuckle, I want to see to have that dog that, yeah, they could be a good athlete, stuff like that, but are they mean? Are they actually like mean spirited when they're tired? Are they like coming forward and fighting and biting down on their mouthpiece? When they get hit, do they shy away or they keep coming forward? Whether their skill level is at the top or not. But those are the guys I'm looking for in bare knuckle, because they make the transition smoother than somebody that's like, the good athlete or something like that. And then as soon as he starts to get hit, he deteriorates less and less and less. Well, in bare knuckle, it happens a lot quicker. So I don't want these like sissies. I'll be straight up honest, because I got 50-something fights, and I can say I don't want no sissies in my fucking league. You're a sissy. Now, if you could just fight and you're a dog, always have a job over at my spot, So that's it, man. All these guys I'm talking about ain't fucking sissies. They're mean, they're fucking athletic, and they know what they're doing. And they're coming with the fucking heat, whether it's the hands, the fists, the knees, the elbows. They're fucking bringing the pain.
All right, so is there any other fights on that card that you should be highlighting that you think this is gonna be must watch, that other than the main event?
Jason Knight is gonna be amazing. King Bao versus Curtis Melender is gonna be a fucking riot. That fight is gonna be good. I could see that fight ending in a bad way for somebody, because these guys both are very good athletes, both are fucking mean, Let me see who else we got. Oh, Chase Sherman, my boy Chase Sherman always brings the heat. Chase Sherman is another guy. Thank goodness we got Chase with us. We were working them back and forth in the contract. Very easy guy to deal with, and finally we got it all done. So shout out to Chase. He's gonna be on the card. He's a fucking killer. He's a go-getter. Devastating low kicks, and he just doesn't stop. Alex Nicholson as well, yeah. Carlson Monutafa. Carlson Monutafa is another dog. Big guy that throws heat. They could take whatever you're giving and just give it right back. Stays in your face the whole time. Good pressure. Good fucking boxing, has fucking solid hands, and it's bare knuckle, so he makes these fucking punches count, It's gonna be a good one.
All right, so bare knuckle, there's a resurgence in bare knuckle. People are interested in bare knuckle again. What is it about bare knuckle that people want to see? What is it that people are getting interested in it again?
Well, in the case of MMA, I can't speak for other sports. It's the rawest form of the sport. right? It's how the sport started. And it's also like, hey, if you got into a real fight, what happens? Well, now we're finding out, ready, go. Because sometimes this makes all the difference, and then there's not all that other stuff. You don't get to like grab a guy, take him down, because it just takes like one or two of these in the right area and you might change it up. But that's how a fight is. I understand it's not everybody's cup of tea, but those that like it, those that love it, this is all they're waiting for, is for these events to drop, because they see the violence is different. You get to a position in the ground, especially, that's why I can't speak in the other sports why or why not they do well. But in the case of MMA, when the floor hits the fight hits the floor and you get to a good position, there's more chances you're going to finish that, because you don't have these gloves and then taping gauze and taping gauze and then boom, and then all this tape here. So then I could grab your glove, I could stick my fingers in here and I could stall positions. When there's no gloves, these hands are like sliding, like they're fucking lubed up, with all that sweat. They're just going right in there. So you could get to your locks and get to your finishings and your holdings a little bit better. Put a motherfucker to sleep. So what does that mean? More action on the ground. Guys are going for more submissions. So per card, we have like 5 to 6 finishes per show, 4 to 5 knockouts. The violence goes right through the roof when you take the gloves off, as long as you pick the right individuals for it.
Quick off-topic question. This weekend, we had a boxing match, one of the biggest boxing matches of the year. Francis Ngannou, he is an MMA fighter, took on Tyson Fury. What did you think of his performance in that fight?
First, let me say that I didn't think he was going to go for 12 rounds, right? Because it's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's never done it. It's a complete different sport that we have to adapt to be able to throw in, a set amount of punches per round. And the rules are so different than what we're accustomed to. I wasn't thinking he was going to go the distance. Let me just say, him going the distance was like, wow, right? Like, people are not even taking that into consideration. Like, man, this guy got in phenomenal shape to do that, taking away all the other great stuff he did in there. Because when you add all that other great stuff he did in there, this guy won on many levels, on many levels, not just everybody's hearts and fucking the people that are cheering him on, but even the haters and doubters. Like, man, he just went 12 rounds with the world champion, the lineal world champion, and was a fucking threat. Dropped him, hurt him to the body, took his best elbow and fucking laughed at him, walked him down numerous rounds, had Tyson on his back for whether you think Tyson won or not. That wasn't his best performance, Now the rematch, I'm more excited to see than ever. And I'm a huge Tyson fan. I wanna see the rematch for more than anything, I think, for both sides, get more like clearance on what happened there, And Tyson's one of the greatest heavyweights to ever walk the planet. So for Ngannou to do that, it just shows this guy's like a different type of athlete, man.
All right, so we've seen MMA fighters go into boxing, but now we're hearing that a boxer wants to go into MMA. We're hearing that Deontay Wilder might want to fight Francis Ngannou in MMA. What are your thoughts about that?
He wouldn't last 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If Ngannou chooses to take him down, the fight is over, which we've seen that Ngannou could wrestle. And Ngannou actually has submissions as well. He submitted at the UFC level, I want to say 1 to 2 guys. But for sure, I know he has 1 submission at the UFC level. Wilder's nowhere near UFC level grappling. So if Ngannou just, played it safe and just grabbed his leg and then scooped him up and dumped him on his head, what's Wilder going to do? He hasn't been preparing the last 10 years for that. It's a complete different world, I would much rather see them boxing and be more competitive than MMA. It wouldn't be competitive MMA.
All right, one last off-topic question. MMA, December, Colby Covington's going to be fighting Leon Edwards. 2 guys you're familiar with. How do you think that fight ends?
Colby's a bitch. I think Leon ends up head kicking him at some point, just breaks his face and celebrates that, Colby's a bitch. He's going to find a way to give up and fumble the bag.
Do you think this is going to be it for him? He loses that fight and...
Nah, because I'm going to beat his ass again at some point somewhere. I don't know where it's going to be. I'll bring his bitch ass out of retirement. Yeah, at some point, yeah. I'm going to train my ass off. I'm going to beat the living breaks out that little bitch.
All right. November 10th, Game Bred Bare Knuckle MMA, live for free on YouTube, Biloxi, Mississippi. Any last words?
Gracias a toda mi gente latina siempre por el apoyo. First and foremost, thank God for this opportunity. I'm getting to do what I love for a living. I watch videos of fighters. I talk to fighters. I talk to managers. I have the coolest freaking job in the world. I work out. That's it, So I just want to thank God for these opportunities. Always first and foremost, and everybody watching, tuning in. Don't forget, November 10th, live on YouTube. We will be announcing the streaming partners pretty soon. But November 10th, Roy Nelson versus Alan Belcher, Mississippi, Biloxi. Don't miss out. If you're in the area, anywhere near the area, this is a show to go to. I got 12 UFC bets on here, very well matched. We've been working on this card for a while. Enjoy, everybody. I just want the world to see and spread the joy with the sport.